Hey, what's up? This is Delio, and this is my overview and review and just an update of what's coming out in the field. Right now, Roland has released a new keyboard called a Juno-X, and I'm very interested in this keyboard because, at first glance, I'm thinking, okay, it's just another Juno, but it's actually a little bit further than that. The thing is that with Juno-X, with the analog modeling technology that they've been doing, now you got basically a Juno 60 and a Juno 106, and you got an XV5080 built into this thing, and you have the RD piano sounds built into the one unit. So you're getting a lot of keyboard, and like I said, at first glance, I thought it was another Juno. But one thing I like about the Juno is actually how simple it is to program your patches on it. I use the plugin, the Juno 106 plugin. Now, Roland has also introduced VST versions of their classic keyboards, but the plugin that I like to use is the Juno or the June 6V, and that's a cool plugin right there because it's got the form factor, it's clean, it sounds great, and it's fun. And to get the sounds that you want that classic, old school kind of vintage vibe, you're able to get that. And from what I've heard with the demos of this, it's like a really cool vintage sound, but it also has some model sound because it's also a Juno X as well. So you have more things like that, and also because it has like the Zen core technology on it, not to be confused with Zen Q from Antelope, but the Zen core technology enables you to install expansions like JD 80, 800, and things like that, other modules and stuff from that ecosystem that Roland has right now with their cloud system. You can load that into there. And one of the strange things that I saw about this keyboard is that it has speakers, which is, I feel like that's a little bit over the top. To have a professional $2,000 or $2,100, it's an expensive keyboard. It's not a baby keyboard. It's a big boy keyboard, and it has speakers built into it. But I guess that could be kind of convenient if you just have it like with you. Like, say you're on tour and you just want to jam out in your hotel room, and you don't feel like you're not in the mood for headphones. Maybe they snapped on the road. You could just plug that thing in and hear it right there. I don't know how high quality the speakers would be, but I think that's a very interesting thing. Another thing that I found interesting about it was the vocoder that comes built into it. One thing I noticed that Roland does very well is vocode. They have some really smooth sounding digital vocoding action going on. Case in point, Teddy Riley. Like, have you ever seen Teddy Riley perform live? He uses a V-synth, and I know he has a headset, and he's like playing chords on that thing, and he's vocoding the mess out of that thing, doing some really smooth harmonies, very smooth sounding. It sounds robotic and it sounds natural at the same time. And when I heard demos of this Juno X, I was like, okay, yeah, that thing sounds smooth. Like, I like it just for the vocoder alone. And so it has a lot of stuff. It has some drum sounds into it. Well, but I'm definitely interested in this keyboard because it does a lot of really cool functions right there. You can program it. If you ever worked with a Juno keyboard before, like the 60, I had the privilege of working with the 60 and the 106. And I work with the plugins, and I tell you, it's just a fun form factor to play, And with the fact that they're adding the classic chorus, well, obviously you're gonna have the classic chorus on there from the Juno, and then they're adding more effects and arpeggiators and all that stuff. A lot of modern features to it. The vocoder, it is a lot of stuff built into one, and definitely, if I had the bread for it, I'd probably invest in one just because it's a big boy keyboard, and I think the value of that thing is only going to go up. And the advantage of that kind of keyboard being in digital format, even though I know there's a part of me that likes that purist analog thing going on, and the fact that it's digital, and if you take care of it, it's probably not going to, the performance of it's not going to deteriorate. I've heard stories of people who bought Juno 106s or had them for a long time, and then the voice chips going out, and then you got to get them resoldered in and stuff like that, and that's a pain. And then, chips like that are harder to source, and I know they have new vintage source where people are remaking the chips. But with a keyboard like this in the digital format, I can appreciate you giving that rich sound, but then using the digital format. I'm not such an analog purist. I have my analog phase where it's like, oh man, if it ain't analog, it ain't hitting. And sometimes it's cool to have the analog action going on, but the lines are starting to blur between the analog modeling and actual analog electronics. I think there's always a place for analog synthesizers. I think there'll always be a place because they do have that character. They do have that charm. They have that flaw that gives it its flavor. But when you're thinking about a keyboard and being in possession of it, 10, 20, 30 years from now, I have a feeling that this keyboard will probably run the same as it has when you first bought it this year. And, we can't really say that about the old Juno 106s. They may be super high in value, but, there's parts that are going bad in it. And like, for instance, with the JD800, the word on the street with the JD800 is that there's glue under the key bed. And like that glue is like messing stuff up because I guess it was fresh and good back in the day, but like this red glue has been messing with the keys, and I hate that because it's such a great keyboard. But even it's a digital keyboard, it has issues. So I'm sure Roland learned their lesson from that. So definitely Juno-X is an exciting keyboard. I'd love to get my hands on one. Obviously, I don't have my hands on one, but it's definitely something I wanted to talk about because it did catch my eye. All the stuff that Roland's dropping out. Of course, Roland's dropping out some other synthesizer stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that too on this channel. But I want to hear your opinion about the Juno-X. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you think about that. If you like this type of content, let me know. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. Sorry, I'm scratching my nose, but my nose did itch. And I also want to let you know before I go that I'm doing a listening party on June 29th, 2022. This month, we're going to listen to tracks from 9 to 11 p.m. I'd like you to come through and share your tracks on the Discord. Let me know if you got any questions about that. I'll see you on the next video. And you're watching Daily LT2K.